Hello, and welcome to the latest edition of On Board with Cruise Passenger. And today we are talking about one of our favourite lines, Norwegian Cruise Line.
Mm.
I'm Peter Lynch, the publisher of Cruise Passenger, your host for today.
And I'm Bernadette Chua, the editor of cruisepassenger.com.au and Cruise and Travel, our luxury magazine.
So, Bern, you're a big fan of NCL,
I sure am.
and indeed you've done a few NCL sailings in your time.
Only just a few. Well, Peter, just to give you a bit of a rundown, I've done an NCL cruise in Fiji,
Whoa.
America, Europe, and I've also just returned from a very special event in Venice.
You've just been to the shipyard to look over their latest ships.
Well, I got an exclusive glimpse into Norwegian Aqua, which is the first of NCL's new Prima Plus class of ships, and it's set to launch in March 2025. Plus, I was also there for the unveiling of the new Norwegian Luna, her sister ship, which is set to launch in April of 2026.
So, a brace of ships.
Oh, yes.
NCL has ships of all different sizes and styles and generally appeals to couples, multi generational families, as well as solo cruisers. I particularly like the fact that they are one of the pioneers of solo cruising, and
Mm.
most of their ships have a dedicated area and cabins for people traveling on their own. In fact, they have no solo supplement on many of their sailings.
And also, on top of that, they sail to over 450 destinations across 19 ships, soon to be
Wow.
20. So there's a ship to suit every type of traveler and every destination. So whether it's the Mediterranean, the Greek Isles, Northern Europe, Alaska, Asia, or a voyage close to home like Australia, New Zealand, or even the South Pacific.
But who better to tell us more about the latest news from NCL than Ben Angell, Vice President and Managing Director of Norwegian Cruise Line for the APEC region. Welcome, Ben, and thanks for being with us.
Thank you for having me. And you're
Yay,
right.
finally!
Yes, finally I'm here. And there's a lot of exciting news coming up from NCL and a lot
Yep,
of reasons that we believe NCL is the best kept secret in cruising. So looking
I've
forward to talking through those
Mm.
today.
fantastic. You're so right. I mean, I've been reading so much about what's going on. So let's start at the beginning, though, Ben. What makes NCL different from other contemporary cruise lines?
Yeah, it's a great question, Peter. And bear with me because there's a lot of reasons and I'll rattle through them now. But
We'll come back in an hour.
yeah, that's right. Ultimately, it's because we offer more of what our guests want, from the huge choice and variety of itineraries, departure ports and destinations, to the exceptional value. With NCL, there's always something more to enjoy. We offer more variety in cuisine than other cruise lines, from steak and seafood, from Thai to tapas. Our dining options have been elevated to offer a culinary journey that satisfies every palate and craving. Guests can enjoy award-winning beverage offerings at more bars and lounges across our fleet than any other cruise line. And
Mm.
NCL has more ways to stay, from unique solo traveler accommodations to NCL's Haven ship within a ship concept.
Sounds
And
fabulous.
that's without
I
even
like
mentioning,
I must say, I love the Thai to tapas line.
Yeah.
I do too. I can't say that I wrote it, but I've certainly embraced it. And that's before we talk about, the incredible personalized service provided by our crew. And it would be remiss of me not to mention NCL's reputation as the best value at sea. One of the reasons we remain such a firm favourite with those who've sailed us before. And
Yep.
there's our fleet. We've got something for everyone across our fleet. We feature 600 plus unique itineraries
Wow.
um, through 2026 that call to 450 destinations around the world. I mean, that's a place to start, right? Just a few examples of really what sets us apart.
That's fantastic. And I must say, it does sound like an incredible fleet and a group of offerings that I know NCL, particularly in the Mediterranean, for instance, has some really brilliant itineraries that are running right now. And the food is something that's a bit of a standout. Um, but besides choosing the right ship, cruising is all about the destinations. So, what is the most popular place for Australians to cruise, and why do you think that is?
Yeah, you're exactly right, Peter. Ultimately, NCL is a fly cruise operator in this part of the world. So we're looking for Australians who want to spread their wings, fly, and join our cruise in an international country. That's really what we're well known for. And our guests love to fly to destinations including Europe, Hawaii, Alaska, and Asia. And for us, Europe is always at the top of the wish list.
Mm.
And it's not hard to see why. Cruising is obviously cost and time efficient. It's a very effective way to explore Europe.
Yeah.
We've got a fantastic balance of itineraries from 7 to 14 days, some with no sea days and a different destination to explore
Nice.
every single day.
Wow,
And
great.
we're also proud that we spend more time in port, an average of 10 hours, with a number of extensive late night departures and overnight stays. So our guests can really immerse themselves in a destination with NCL.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
So, I guess that's also where the travel agents come in, right? Helping you choose the perfect itinerary and depending on what ship you're on.
It is, and I cannot overstate the value of a great travel agent.
Mm.
Our travel partners add so much value with their knowledge of our ships, destinations, onboard experience, and itineraries. And even within Europe, there are so many different experiences to choose from, whether you prefer laid back island hopping in the Greek Isles, iconic ports of the Med, or some of the less discovered destinations of Northern Europe. And
Mm.
you really benefit when you've got a highly knowledgeable travel agent that helps steer you in the right direction for
And I
your holiday.
think I think you're so right, Ben.
Mm.
And in today's world, I mean, let's face it, we know, don't we, that Europe is a great destination. Sadly, other people know it's a great destination. Can't think how that got out. But but as a result, you really need a professional to get you to the right place, to beat the crowds, to know you're going to have a great time,
Mm.
and not get involved in too much where there are crowds of people waiting for the great sights.
But I guess they also say, generally you need that good travel agent to put you on the right cruise line and on the right
Absolutely.
Yeah,
itinerary.
yeah, yeah. That
Mm.
that great phrase, isn't it? If you get on
Mm.
the right ship at the right time, you will absolutely be a cruiser for life. Wrong ship, wrong time,
Yeah.
maybe not.
And so
Um,
Very
besides the
good.
traditional favorites, Ben, like the south of France and Italy, what's new to discover in Europe with NCL?
One of the things I love about working for NCL is that we're constantly evolving. We've just launched a full Baltic season as part of our
Ooh.
mm,
latest Europe release for 2026, including a new home port in Helsinki, as well as overnight stays in fascinating cities like Istanbul,
love
Reykjavik, and
Istanbul.
Hamburg.
Yeah.
So guests can really dive in and discover the sights, the culture, the nightlife.
Mm.
We also design our itineraries to include late night departures, as I mentioned, um, particularly in places that are famous for sunsets and after dark activities, so that guests don't miss out. So, like Santorini and Dubrovnik, I'm
Mm.
sure you've seen the photos. It's a great way for guests to see two different sides of a destination in one day.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. In fact, I couldn't believe it when I went to Santorini that there were a queue of young people who were prepared to stand on those roofs in flowing skirts. I think they actually hire the skirts so you can get that wind-blown look and stand on the roofs. I mean, anywhere else, this would be, you can imagine
You
the
weren't
local
tempted, Peter?
council, the
I was
local,
about to say, Ben.
no, no, I was. Teresa was holding me back, holding me back.
Oh,
Really brilliant, though. Beautiful to see, beautiful.
so, Ben, do you have any new ports that we should know about then so we don't have to encounter the skirt
Yes.
flowing?
Especially
Yeah, as I
mine.
said, we love evolving. We love adding new ports each season. And in 2026, we'll be making our first visits to
Mm.
Portree on the Isle of Skye in Scotland,
Oh,
Oh,
Gjevik
fabulous.
in Norway, and
okay.
Palamos in Spain. And that one is top of my personal wish list. We're
Mm.
also proud to offer more open jaw sailings than our competitors in Europe. That's more itineraries that start in port and finish in another. So travelers can explore even more before and after their cruise. And
Mm.
that's one of the things we're seeing trending up from this part of the world. Holiday makers going overseas who want to combine a cruise, an ocean cruise with a land tour,
Yeah.
Mm.
Yep.
possibly an ocean cruise with a river tour.
Yep.
And these itineraries are perfect for that. You can start in one place and end in another.
You're
Yeah.
talking our readers' language. That's exactly what they
Excellent.
want to do. And I love the sound of the Isle of Skye. It is one of the most beautiful
Yes,
and, very much in line with what you were talking about, undiscovered gems.
Mm.
That would be the Isle of Skye.
Yeah. So Europe
absolutely.
is obviously a major market for NCL, but from my understanding, NCL is also the only cruise line to home port a ship in Hawaii. So tell us a little bit more about that, Ben.
We are. Our Hawaii itinerary is truly unique. As you say, we're the only cruise line that provides this island hopping
Mm.
experience, visiting 4 islands in 7 days, departing Saturday every year round. So it's a really great way to see a lot of Hawaii in a short period of time with the most value and convenience you can imagine. It's
Mm.
Yep.
just so accessible for Aussie travelers. You literally hop on a direct flight to Honolulu and join our Pride of America ship. Um, And you've got the benefit of 2 overnight stays, no sea days, more than 100 hours to explore on shore, and there's over 100 shore excursions to choose from.
Fabulous.
And
Oh.
we've heard a lot about the cost, the US dollar, the exchange
Yeah.
rates, and the cost of holidaying in Hawaii. But we know Aussies love to holiday in Hawaii. So
Mm.
anyone thinking of a Hawaii holiday, I would encourage you to have a look at a cruise as an option. And I guarantee that we come up incredibly well compared to land-based holidays in Hawaii at this time.
I
I
In
think you
terms of
are.
not only the dollar
Yeah.
value, but the
Yeah.
time and
Yeah.
convenience.
Look, you,
My god sister has done the Pride of America 4 times now.
yeah, and
Excellent.
you're really being too modest, because the truth is, if you look at the cost of a land tour in
Mm.
Hawaii and the cost of a cruise, they're miles apart. Cruise is just
They
Yeah.
the
are.
most cost-effective way to do Hawaii by
Absolutely.
a country mile. But what
Yes.
about Asia? That's another area that I think is really coming to the fore, and of course, so close to Australia, so really convenient. I know Japan is one of the top destinations for Aussie travelers right now, for with the yen versus the dollar. It's the one place we're doing well.
Yes.
And NCL, I think, has great cruises there too.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Asia's one of my favorite parts of the world. Japan's one of my top three countries in the world. I absolutely adore everything about Japan. Um, from right now until March 2026, we'll have 3 ships sailing in the region, which is our biggest ever Asia deployment. So
Wow.
that's testament to
Yeah.
how great we think Asia is, and how much we value deploying ships and operating Asia itineraries. So we're going to have Norwegian Sun, Norwegian Sky, and Norwegian Spirit, all offering a range of immersive itineraries in the region. And
Brilliant.
those ships are perfectly suited to the itineraries they're going to be sailing. They're a little bit smaller, and they can get our guests into some of the most exciting ports in Asia. And besides the choice of those 3 ships, guests can depart from 8 different ports, visiting more than
Wow.
60 different destinations. And
Fantastic.
again, spending an average of 10 hours in port. And there's also 36 overnight visits in 11 locations. And these are, again, places that really come alive after dark, like Osaka, Hong
Mm.
Kong,
Mm.
Bangkok, and Bali. And we've also got overnight stays in some of Asia's hidden gems, including Tokushima in Japan.
Well, look, I
Oh.
mean, this is bang in line really with what you've been talking about, which is Australians need to learn more about fly cruise.
Mm.
And really, these fly cruise destinations are well within reach, well
Mm.
within budget. They
Absolutely.
just make the fly cruise experience quite sensible
And very seamless as well.
and totally seamless. So you get
Absolutely.
all the exotic
Mm.
destinations that you really want to make you feel you've been on holiday, but you
Mm.
don't have to sit in a jet for like 18, 20 hours.
Yeah.
You can actually do Singapore in 7, and Hong Kong in roughly the same time.
So, Peter, you can hit the nightclubs as
And
well.
I'd be hitting like,
And you raise a very good point, Peter. It's not easy traveling overland and visiting multiple Asian countries in a
yeah,
short period of time, and it's not necessarily the most cost efficient way to do it. And that's why we're so keen talking about this fly cruise opportunity. We
yeah.
know there's a lot of Australians who would be so well suited to an overseas cruise holiday.
Mm.
Um, Fantastic value, as I said, and fantastic convenience.
Yeah, and Asia makes it really easy for them to consider, because it is within reach, and probably within their cost budget as well. Any
Absolutely.
standout sailings you want to share with us? It sounds like you've got a lot.
Oh, I suppose one of my favorites set sail from Manila in the Philippines. I love island destinations, and this one visits
Mm,
beautiful island destinations like Boracay and
Mm.
excellent.
Puerto Princesa before sailing to Taiwan and Japan, 2 of my favorite countries. Taiwan's right up there as well for me.
Fabulous.
And that itinerary offers a really unique mix of well-known and less discovered destinations. Naze on Oshima Island is another of Japan's best kept secrets. It appears on several of our Asia sailings. And I highly recommend looking at our Go Local and Go Green shore excursions for all our guests booking on an Asia itinerary. There's plenty to choose from, including visiting a marine turtle sanctuary
Mm,
and gibbon
Oh.
project in Thailand,
yep.
or exploring a mangrove forest by speedboat in Vietnam.
Oh,
Fantastic.
that
I'm
sounds
really
so
looking
cool.
forward to Manila, because I'm actually going to Manila for Christmas.
Oh,
So
excellent.
I will look out for some of your ships, Ben.
Well, I was about to say
Fantastic.
in Thailand, could we also go see Dang, that really cute hippo?
Oh, the cute hippo. Have you seen him? He's so beautiful.
I'm
If you
sure you could fit that
beautiful,
in.
maybe beautiful isn't the right word.
So that all sounds wonderful, Ben, and it's just amazing what your itinerary planners can come up with. So those overnights and specialty shore excursions sound like a real game changer, but there's also an incredible amount to explore on board, right?
Yeah, is Bernie. One of the challenges we're so excited talking about, our ships and the growth in our fleet and the
Mm.
destinations we visit, um, that it's easy to forget that there is so much to do on board. And you definitely know from your experience sailing on Norwegian Prima,
Oh, sure,
and as you
definitely.
mentioned earlier, the new Norwegian Aqua
Mm.
will have even more features to discover.
Yeah, Bird's been telling us all about them, and it does sound absolutely fantastic.
Well, and I think one of my favorite things is the Mandara Spa. Aside from how beautiful Norwegian Prima was, but the biggest decision was whether to, get a massage or like a facial or acupuncture. It's an incredibly beautiful space.
It absolutely is. The interior design of Prima Class is like
Mm,
nothing I've ever seen before. The quality and the attention to detail is absolutely exceptional. And as I said earlier, we're constantly listening to our guest feedback and evolving, taking into account that guest feedback with
mm,
each new ship we design. So what we offer
Mm.
is always evolving.
yeah.
I'm not surprised to hear you're a fan of Mandara Spa. I had the pleasure of 30 minutes in Mandara Spa on Prima,
30
and it
Oh,
was
the
minutes.
whole
worth it.
30 minutes, Ben.
But even in that 30 minutes, I mean, I highly recommend the adults only thermal suite in there,
Mm,
the saunas, the steam rooms, the vitality pools,
mm.
salt room.
Oh,
No, amazing heated lounges with stunning sea views. It's absolutely one of my favorite places to spend downtime at sea.
I've got to
You should
say.
complain to your boss about only the 30 minutes,
Yeah, it does
Oh,
sound
well, I'm
considering that you
speaking
are
on
the
that
boss.
cruise, but it's look, I can take another cruise and go and enjoy it at my leisure. So that's all I've got to do.
It does sound fantastic, and you're right. I must say, Ben, that in the last sort of 5 years or so, this class of ship has really taken off, and
Mm.
I think they are extraordinary design feats going on now to deliver just amazing guest
Oh, yeah.
experiences, and I think that's really one of the strongest reasons why more people are cruising. I know that Norwegians also experienced this surge in younger cruisers
Mm.
and millennial cruisers. And I think it's because the ship design has changed and what's on offer is unbeatable.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more, Peter. I think there's such choice out there for cruisers of any age,
Yeah,
um, seeking any type of cruising experience. There
yeah,
Mm.
again, it comes back to the importance of a fantastic travel agent with expert knowledge helping guide
Mm.
all of those different guests to the right ship and the right itinerary at the right time.
Mm.
But there's just I think as well there's unrivaled convenience,
Mm.
and there's
mm, yeah,
unrivaled cost efficiency in a cruise
Yeah.
holiday that younger generations are really becoming aware of, whether that's you know young late teens into the young 20s,
Mm.
traveling as couples or with groups of friends, or whether it's younger families now seeking out the value that cruise holiday offers. It's an exciting time. It really is.
Oh,
yeah,
completely. And I think,
absolutely.
especially for a millennial market, food is also really important. So while I might be in the
It
spa, Peter will
is.
definitely be in,
I'll be in the bistro.
and the bar, I will just say as well.
Oh, me? No.
So tell us a little bit about the food and beverage offerings on the ships, Ben.
Yeah, look, we're so proud of our food and beverage offerings. They really are one of the things that we're most famous for as a brand,
Mm.
and particularly they resonate very well with Australian travellers who we know love food. They love
Mm.
trying new food. They love quality and they love variety. And our variety is unmatched with up to 20 dining options on some of our ships, and a quality of cuisine that if you haven't cruised before, or even if you have cruised before but not with a Norwegian brand, you might not expect. It really is fantastic restaurant quality. Um, I've got a few favorites. My personal favorites are Le Bistro, which
Mm.
serves the most beautiful French cuisine. Funnily enough, whenever I'm in there, I tend to eat steak. I don't know why, but it serves the absolute best French cuisine. Onda by Scarpetta, which offers incredibly authentic Italian.
Mm.
I'm not a seafood eater, but our Mediterranean seafood restaurant, Palomar, is absolutely a guest favorite. and has knockout sunset views. So that's certainly
Oh,
one I'd
lovely.
recommend as well.
Yeah.
I definitely won't argue with that. I mean, the handmade pasta and the charcuterie board in Onda is definitely one of my most favorite meals I've ever had at sea. And
Wow. That's a
spe-
big call.
it is a big call. I mean, I might be a little bit biased, but I find that the food on NCL is actually the best that I've ever had at sea.
And Bern
Oh,
is a foodie.
fantastic. That's great to
Yeah.
hear.
I
Yep.
mean, I loved Palomar and like the oysters, the salt baked fish, and the langoustines
Stop
were
it.
sorry, Peter. But yeah, I don't think I've ever had seafood that fresh at sea,
Ah,
ironically.
fantastic to
Yeah.
hear. That's great.
So besides the food, the entertainment is always a highlight too, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. We're similarly proud of our entertainment. We've been really listening to guest feedback around entertainment as well, and continuing to evolve the entertainment offerings on board. I've got a few personal favourites as well.
Mm.
That's Sid Norman's Poorhouse. The bar on our Prima class is absolutely up there as one of my favourites. It's a bit rock and roll.
Mm.
Images of the Ramones, Jim Morrison, and the Doors.
Oh, the
I just love
doors.
it in there. Fleetwood Mac rumours. So Fleetwood Mac is a staple in our household.
Mm.
Everyone from me, the wife, and the kids love it. And the Fleetwood Mac rumours show is a must see. In fact, it's been so popular, we're actually moving it to a bigger venue on board.
Mhm.
Um, and as I say, we're just committed to continuing to evolve and improve onboard entertainment, which is already exceptional. And we've got a wide range of live music, dance, comedy, and Broadway style shows in our theatres every night across the entire fleet.
Well, what's
Well,
amazing about the NCL in production house team is, I mean, you guys had six on board, which then became a full Broadway musical.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Mm.
And Burn the Floor is another favourite
yeah.
of
Mm.
Yep.
Australians. It's an Australian production that features across our fleet. And we were actually lucky enough to take a few of our trade and media guests to watch that when that was touring in Australia last. So, yeah, fantastic.
Mm.
Yeah, I've got to say I'm a musical fan myself. In fact, we run a magazine called the Sydney Travel Guide, and I am its main reviewer. So so I love musicals.
That was
So
a hint, hint, nudge,
Yes,
nudge for the
I
next
really,
got
one,
it.
Ben.
but look, any other tips for readers who are now, I should imagine, reaching for their telephones after hearing all of this about booking NCL?
Yeah, look, definitely. It's worth noting that cruise is more than back. We
Mm.
are seeing record-breaking cruise bookings across NCL and cruise lines across the world. So, yeah, my tips aren't complicated, but there are a few key things I would recommend to get the most out of your trip, and that starts with booking early.
Mm.
You typically would expect to get the very best prices booking early, as well as being able to secure your preferred itinerary and type of stateroom. And obviously, again, your travel agent can help you with choosing which of these is right for your style and budget. But get in early, and then you can choose exactly which itinerary, which ship, and which stateroom you want. And
So
then once
true.
you
I can't stress that enough. Getting in early is the
Mm.
best, most simplest way to do it. And I've
absolutely,
talked to so many experts in cruise who say so many people miss out the fact that, of
yeah.
course, you get the best deal early.
Mm.
Or they, quite a lot of the feedback we get is, well, we looked at this sailing 3 months ago, and now the prices have
Yeah.
gone up. And I said, well, that's because it's selling very,
Yes.
very well.
Exactly.
Um, and so, again, you would expect to get the best deals booking early.
Yep.
I would encourage listeners to look for the traditional retail periods. That's typically when there's some great deals to be had as well. So that's something. Once you've got your sailing locked in, the next thing is make sure you check out the range of restaurants and activities on board,
Mm.
so you can start to get a feel for how you want to plan your time.
Yeah.
So you can
Mm.
get a great balance of scheduled activities like locking in your specialty dining restaurants,
Mm.
but also balancing that with your free time. I would encourage listeners to read up on all the shore excursions available in
Yep.
each
Mm.
destination,
Yeah.
um, and really start to plan, start to book in some of those experiences that might fill up. Whether it's
Yeah.
the dining, whether it's the shows, whether it's the shore excursions.
Mm.
I think that's a really important tip because so many people think they're just going to be there and readily available,
Yeah.
and they miss the fact that you're turning up at Rome and everybody wants to see the Colosseum, right? So
Yeah.
you walk in the morning and say, "Oh, I'd really like the Colosseum tour," and how disappointing it is to find that everybody wants to see the Colosseum. So I
Exactly.
think that's a great tip, Ben.
And,
Really important.
and I add just one thing to that thought. Some of our really bespoke tours, like the Go Gourmet and Go Local tours that I
Mm,
mentioned
Mm.
earlier,
mm.
they offer the most authentic, immersive way to see life through the eyes of a foodie or a
Yeah,
local.
yeah,
Mm.
They're small group tours. So
yeah.
again, I would encourage you if you're interested in taking one of those to get in early because they do book out very, very quickly.
Mm.
Great advice.
I've
Couldn't
got
agree
my own
more.
hot tip actually. If you are sailing on a Prima class ship, actually use the boards that are available in the lift areas because you can
Oh,
book all of your specialty dining because obviously food's really important to me.
no, really?
Really, but book all of your dining through that and do it
Okay.
as soon as you get on the ship. It's
Yep.
real. It's such a great system.
Hearing about the deals, Ben. What are the deals at the moment?
Well, we've got a great, what we like to call a secret to unlocking the maximum value on board an NCL cruise.
Shh.
So the deal that's in place at the moment is NCL's 5 bonus inclusions, which we believe is one of the best kept secrets in cruising, but it shouldn't be. And this is our value proposition. Guests can unlock exceptional value by taking advantage of an included beverage
Ooh.
package, specialty dining offer, Wi-Fi, and shore excursion credits.
So you get
And
the
in
lot.
addition, we have up to 35% off all
Wow.
cruises across all 450 plus destinations until the end of September.
That's fantastic. So you get the lot,
Wow.
you get your
You get a
inclusions,
lot.
and up to 35% off. That's pretty incredible.
So when are we booking our next cruise?
Right now.
That's another hot tip actually that comes to mind. When you're comparing when you're comparing cruise prices, always consider the value inclusions
Mm.
Yeah,
that
yeah,
sit behind those cruise prices. Because
absolutely.
price and value are two very different things in my experience. So,
I have to say that's so true, and our readers really know. So you
yes.
don't have to tell them to look at what they really want and make
Mm.
sure they're getting the best price for it. They're really good at it. But that is sounding like a very, very incredible deal. So, and there's not long to go for it, right?
No, runs up till the end of this month.
We definitely need to make that call to the travel agent right now.
Yeah,
Well, look,
fantastic.
thank you so much, Ben. All this information is really, really important and certainly does put NCL out front in terms of one of our favorites. So, absolutely great to talk to you.
Thank you so much for having me. Lovely to talk to you both.
So, Peter, it is seriously such an amazing product, and I've always had such a good time with NCL. So, I'm already planning the next time I can get back on board. That's a hint, hint,
Why,
nudge, nudge for my annual leave.
why am I not surprised? Unfortunately, that's all we have time for today. If you like the sound of NCL, jump onto an offer on our website, cruisepassenger.com.au, or on the YouTube link below.
So, also don't forget, we have a special offer. You can get our digital magazine for just $5 or a yearly print subscription for just $65.
Fabulous.
Our latest edition of Cruise and Travel will be out on the newsstands by the end of September. And it also has some amazing itineraries, including some of NCL's close to home sailings, as we were talking about before.
It sure does. So, see you next time.